Hey everybody, this is Spooky from ArmoredTalk.com, your website covering all your Armored Warfare news and information.
This refinery is a valuable strategic asset. The Lions of Neckville want to blow it up to send a message to the locals. Stay alert.
I'm letting the gameplay announcer do her thing. Some players like to hear that, and I did that in the last video. We have one more coming up before we get into the commentary.
Intel suggested supply vehicles containing weapons shipments for the Lions of Neckville are in the area. Neutralize them en route to the refinery.
Okay, I think that was the last one, at least towards the beginning here. If you haven't figured it out by now, we are on a player versus environment map. This is Phalanx, and it is one of them coming to the Armored Warfare Early Access 4, which begins on the North American and European markets on August 13th. I am actually driving a Begleitpanzer, and hopefully I did not slaughter that name too badly. It's a Tier 5 light tank coming to Early Access 4. Oh, I have incoming here. Ooh, that's an interesting shell flyover. It's actually a really interesting tank to play. In Armored Warfare, light tanks... Oh, hang on a second here. I guess I'm going to circle around this guy. In Armored Warfare, light tanks are not known as a class for having the best camouflage. That's a role that is taken on by the AFV, Armored Fighting Vehicles. So the light tanks end up playing the role of the faster vehicles at times. So they are faster and can shoot on the move with a little bit greater accuracy than other classes. And that's what I'm trying to do here. This is maybe not the best strategy to use in a PvP, but that particular tank in the PvE mode was not able to rotate very fast. So I was able to go ahead and circle around him, the circle of death. A lot of players were surprised towards the end of EA3 when the Fox and this particular tank were magically unlocked in an error on Armored Warfare's part. That particular version of the Begleitpanzer, which is what I'm driving right now, really wasn't balanced. So the version you're getting in Early Access 4 is different. I believe that the one I'm on is more towards a balanced vehicle. This gameplay footage is actually from the Russian public test server before the version 0.7 was rolled out to the Russian regular servers. It's actually kind of interesting. I was surprised I was able to somewhat snipe or fire from a distance as effectively as I am here. Not to mention that I have two back-to-back games in this tank on this map, so you're seeing both of them here. And I am going to go ahead and speed up gameplay when there is not a lot happening, just so that the video is not overly long. So I will probably do that again later on in the video, just so that you are aware if you're nothing wrong with your computer. Here, I am going to go ahead and auto lock using the right mouse button. Shoot him a couple times, back up, shoot him a couple more times, and then, I'm not doing a bunch of damage. His guns are turning towards me, so it's time to flank. It's one of the things I like about the faster vehicles in any tank MMO game is the ability to flank. That's pretty much it for this first game, and we'll go ahead and listen to the radio announcer again.
Great job, Black Monkey. The refinery is under our control and the explosives have been disabled.
Okay, so that was the end of the first of two games I'm bringing to you in this video. We'll go ahead and quickly look at the results screen. Looks like we finished middle of the road, which is really fine. I had been playing the PvE modes on the Russian PTS for a while, simply trying to get the two new maps. And that was the first time I was on the Phalanx PvE map. And here we are going to be on it again in back-to-back games in the same tank. So I do go ahead and take a little bit different route this time, just so that we can see different parts of the map. Which way is to go is better? Your guess is as good as mine. It probably depends on the vehicle that you're in. Considering I've only seen this map twice, I have no clue yet. And speaking of maps, you may have noticed that the mini-map is a little bit larger than you're used to. The next version of Armored Warfare, you can adjust the size of the minimap up to, I think, 200% in the settings. So make sure you check that out if you are somebody who likes having a larger minimap. I actually start off this game playing a little bit more conservatively. I wasn't too happy with how much damage I took in the last one, though I have a hard time when I'm sitting in a tank that can flank and has a little bit of speed and can fire on the move just sitting still. So in we go, and I probably shouldn't be taking as many hits as what I am. But it's fun to go ahead and circle around other enemy tanks and shoot them while they are trying to turn to engage you. You probably notice I am using my auto lock, right-clicking with the mouse on the enemy tank quite a bit. When you're in as close as what I am, you don't have to worry about the auto lock not being able to adjust for vectors or speed, so it works pretty well. And here we're going to go for a nice little swim. How deep is this water? Oh, hey, I can go ahead and cross here. No problem. I so should have switched to sniper mode when I'm down there just to see what it looks like. But we had the speed to get through the deep areas of that water. You know, I really like this map. It's not one of the more detailed ones. At least I'm not sure I've seen a ton of different terrain levels. But it's a nice looking, simple map, and probably one that's going to be good for PvE. I think I have probably said on previous videos and several times on the blog, I am one that would rather have hundreds and hundreds of maps versus just a few dozen, or even better yet, have procedurally generated maps. Which those I realize are not going to be possible in the near future for any game that's currently out, but it would be something that I would enjoy playing on. I understand the rationale against having lots and lots of maps is that players would not be able to learn where to go or feel comfortable going to different spots, but I like having the variety. So here, really all I'm doing is going down and getting this last objective, which I'm glad I'm able to do so because I wanted to see what the map looked like over here. Didn't get a chance in the first game. By the way, you do not have to shoot the supply trucks in order to get them. You can save your ammunition and just run over them like I did there. Well, I guess that wasn't quite the last secondary objective. There's one more up there represented by the little circle that is filled in at about D8. Going back to what I was saying earlier, if you're not familiar with what I'm saying about the Russian public test server, which is a super test server, or the Russian regular armored warfare server, which is usually getting a version of the next major patch level compared to the North American, European markets a week or so ahead of time. If you're not familiar with all that, check out the armoredtalk.com blog, and we have some articles about it. All I'm really trying to communicate is this gameplay footage is representative of what you're going to see next week in Early Access 4. With the possible exception of this tank might have a little bit more balance changes applied to it. Although maybe not, it already has in the version I'm playing now. We'll just have to wait and see. I do know that playing in the PvE environment has been fun, just driving it into a massive tank, circling around and shooting them. Hopefully you've enjoyed getting a look at this new PvE map. Oh, we have another straggler here we'll go ahead and take care of. This is pretty sure I thought this was the end of the game, and yeah, it has to be. So we'll go ahead and cap it out for the win. Anyway, as I was saying, hopefully you enjoyed seeing this. If anybody ever has any comments or suggestions on what you want to see in future videos or on the armoredtalk.com blog, feel free to let me know either in comments, or the blog does have a contact form. If you want to send me an email, you can find it from the About drop-down menu on the blog up along the top edge. No, actually, I forgot. I decided not to cap this out, and since I realized I was probably going to use this footage for you guys, I wanted to go ahead and head back to that deep water. Although, once again, I forgot to go into the sniper mode. And maybe it isn't really all that great when you do that down there. I just have never tried it before. Maybe I'm the only one, I don't know. So it looks like this is the end of the game, so I'm going to go ahead and speed it up to get this closed out. So this has been Spooky from armoredtalk.com. Hopefully you all have a good day or good night, wherever you are.